Raise your hand if you had to take biology in grade school. Biology for me was my least favorite subject, so I didn't try to remember much of anything from it. But there is one thing that does come to mind from my past biology classes, and that is the human adult body is made up mostly of water, about 55 to 75% water. Since water makes up the majority of our bodies, it probably shouldn't be a surprise that our bodies need water to stay healthy. Without water, our bodies become dehydrated and don't function properly. And with this functioning, it's not always just internal. There can be external non-functioning things as well, especially when it comes to our skin. As I alluded to, there are some internal and external signs that will show us whether we are properly hydrated or not. Internally, some of those signs might be we're thirsty, we experience a lack of energy, and in some extreme cases of dehydration, there can be levels of confusion. Now, externally, the signs tend to be pretty visible on our skin. So we might start seeing like our skin is feeling dry, actually drier than normal. No matter how much we try to moisturize it, our skin can start to not look and feel as lustrous or supple as it used to. And we can also see and feel changes in our scalp, which when you think about it, is basically just skin covered by a lot of hair. So on our scalp, we may start seeing some flaking and a lot more itching. I know when I'm not properly hydrated, I notice a big difference in how my skin looks and feels. I tend to have some out of the ordinary itching, flaking, and tightness on my whole body, on my face, on my scalp, and I've also noticed that my makeup doesn't go on as well as it could or it should. Now, when I'm properly hydrated, there are 3 key signs that I've seen very visible on my skin. The first sign is I see reduced acne or pimple breakouts. Now, before I go any further, do let me caveat that drinking water does not get rid of acne or pimples. I repeat, drinking water does not get rid of acne or pimples. Believe me, if drinking water could just make all of my acne, pimples, breakouts go away, I would be drinking a lot more water than I currently do and a lot more often. What drinking water does do is to help flush out toxins and maybe even some of that bacteria that can increase the likelihood of a skin breakout. Now, I personally haven't noticed a consistent direct correlation to reduced pimples or breakouts with how much water that I drink, but I have noticed that when I do drink more water, it's easier for me to keep my skin clearer using my skincare routine. The second sign that I'm properly hydrated is my skin has a glow about it. When the body is properly hydrated, the skin is also properly hydrated. And hydration helps to improve the skin's elasticity. And elasticity is the ability of the skin to stretch and snap back to its original state. And believe me, that's something we all want. Proper hydration also helps with improving the overall tone and texture of the skin, which can result in the skin having a nice glow about it. I've noticed when my body is properly hydrated, the tone and texture of my skin looks a whole lot better. And when my tone and texture looks a whole lot better, I feel the need to wear less makeup and sometimes even go without wearing makeup. The third sign that I'm properly hydrated is I have a better feeling scalp. Now, as I mentioned previously, the scalp is basically just skin that's covered with a lot of hair. This is why I start to see and feel changes in my scalp when I'm dehydrated. So when my scalp starts feeling really itchy, it starts flaking, one of the things that I look at, in addition to seeing if there might be some potential irritation from the hair products I'm using, is how hydrated am I right now? If I hadn't been drinking a lot of water, I know that is a good reason why my scalp is feeling dry and it's flaky. So I go ahead and I start drinking some water. And in addition to that, I've also found that spritzing my scalp with cool water can sometimes help with that flaking and itching. Now, I will say that the spritzing the water on my scalp is a temporary fix because it's external, but it does really help in the interim while I'm getting my body hydrated again. While I've gotten better about drinking more water and staying hydrated, I still have days where I struggle with drinking enough water throughout the day to stay hydrated. So I've come up with a few tips that make it easier for me to drink more water throughout the day, and I'm going to share them with you. My first tip is to carry around a bottle of filtered water. I found a great water bottle on Amazon that is slim, it holds a good amount of water, and it keeps my water cold for a long time. If you'd like to see what the water bottle is that I purchased, I'll link it in the description box for you and you can check it out there. Now, I will tell you, I carry that water bottle around with me all of the time, no matter where I'm going. If I'm just going to the store to pick up some groceries, or I'm actually going shopping, or I'm going on vacation, I'm going to work, I'm going to church, that water bottle is coming with me. I found that carrying a water bottle around with me helps me to stay hydrated because I don't have to spend time or effort trying to find water to drink. Okay, tip number 2 is for those who have a hard time drinking water straight. And I know several people who have this issue. They just don't like the taste of regular water, and that's why they drink things like sodas and juices. Well, there is something that you can do, and that is adding some fruit to it, such as lemons or orange slices, and that can help make your water taste more flavorful. My third tip is to eat fruits and vegetables that have a high liquid content. Now, this also helps for people who don't like the taste of water, because this can be an easy and delicious way to help get to your daily water intake without having to just guzzle down a bunch of water all day. Now, there are some fruits that I like to eat that can help keep the body hydrated, and those are things such as pineapples, strawberries, cantaloupe, and oranges. And then when it comes to vegetables, you have things like cucumber, celery, and leafy greens like romaine lettuce, iceberg lettuce, and spinach. Tip number 4 is to mist the skin. Now, this is more of a temporary fix because it's external versus internal, and I mentioned that before when I talked about spritzing my scalp with water. But I have found that keeping a small spray bottle on hand with some filtered water that you can use to spray on your skin on occasion can help if it starts to feel really dry. I've done this, as I mentioned, on my scalp, and I've even done this on my face sometimes in the wintertime, and it does really help temporarily. Now, the small spray bottle that I use is just a bottle that I found in Walmart's travel toiletry section. It's really nothing special. You can find similar ones on Amazon. Now, as a personal caution for me, after a day or two of having the water in this bottle, I dump out any of the unused water, and then once I'm ready to do the spritzing again, I'll refill the bottle. And this is just basically due to me hearing something about exposed water having a short shelf life, and I just wanting to make sure that I keep my skin safe and healthy. Tip number 5 is to use warm or lukewarm water on the skin. Now, hot water can feel very good on the skin, especially in the winter time, but it dries out the skin. I'm a person who really loves to take hot showers. I like to use hot water on my skin just because of how it feels, but I found out that using hot water, particularly on my face, just removes all of the good natural oils that I want to stay there, and that helped to keep my skin hydrated. So I had to stop using hot water, and now as an alternative, I use warm or lukewarm water on my face. And I do that in the morning, which helps wake my skin up. I do it at night, which helps to break up the dirt on my face and also break up the makeup, but it also keeps my skin from drying out. Now, one thing I do want to say about all of these tips is that while staying hydrated is great, you want to make sure that you don't drink too much water, because too much water for you cannot be so great. In fact, it can be harmful. So just be careful to not overindulge when you're drinking water. Now it's your turn. What are some of the signs you've seen when your skin is dehydrated? Go ahead and share that in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a like by giving it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And lastly, I've got another video for you to check out. It is this one right here, and it is all about the skincare and makeup products that I use on my oily skin. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in this next video.